Hello folks, GWT here, West Truther Channel. First of all, I got a few things to get off my chest that's bugging me, and that is, I posted that second video and said the video that was taken down, I posted it on Minds.com. Not one person went to see it. Not fucking one. Nobody goes to my Minds.com account. I've told you, West Truther, a capital W, a capital T. West Truther is supposed to get you into my videos. And if anybody adds a 1 onto the end of West Truther, I don't know exactly. I don't think that's me. But it could get you into me because, see, they dilly-dally. They mess around with my names, my handles, my channel stuff. That way nobody can find my goddamn videos. And when I say a video is taken down and I posted it on Minds.com and nobody goes there, oh man, that's some real damn reassurance that I got a passel of real people that's listening to the things I say. Because that's bullshit too. YouTube's after my channel so fucking bad, I think I might just give it to them and move the hell on and get the fuck off of the internet. Because I know what's going on. I know who's doing it. And I know where they're going with it. And I won't live long enough to be caught in the mix unless I make a mistake and walk into a fucking lion's den somewhere. But you folks out there, like I said, majority of you are a bunch of dumbasses. You know a little bit, which makes you think you got it all under control, and you don't really know shit. You don't even see stuff that's happening on your own street. They could put up new signs and it'll be weeks before you even notice it. What if there were special programs that could open and close portals or stargates to some other dimension or world-like existence, while you unknowingly are real close to that gate, and whatever is within that dimension, you would be standing right by it if they open that gate, and you would experience whatever the heck it is that has access to you. Now, what if they could open and close portals where people were? People could disappear without a trace, couldn't they? You know that in 2011, YouTube, this is a revenue, it's an alphabet revenue index, and in 2011, YouTube made $37,905,000,000 dollars, and went into 2012. It went to 46 billion, 2013 55.5 billion, and 66 billion in 2014, and in 2015 was about 75 billion, and in 2016 90.25 billion. In 2017, 111 billion, and in 2018, YouTube and Google's parent company, Alphabet's revenue, the revenue amounted to $136.8 billion for these internet services for 1 year. And our freedoms are the rights of every man, bestowed to every single man, and no other man has the human right to deprive you of your inalienable rights. All men. That includes all men. And folks, we're in the middle of something. I'm going to explain it to you in this video right here, and then I'm probably going to quit YouTube because they're not going to like this video. They will dislike these videos. Let me tell you all right now, YouTube is going to dislike these videos to get this lesson done as much or more as anything I ever fucking posted. Thank you very much. When one or more men are threatened, your freedoms then, when one or more men are threatened and your freedoms are threatened, then you need to fucking do something. Even if it makes you look wrong, but stand up and face anything or anyone who threatens your rights. Courts are bullshit for slave control. for the generation of revenue, for slave labor. Any threat or any freedom is enough to fight about. We get computer chips and implants through processed meats. Folks, I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube. I didn't copy them, put them down, but one of them showed a computer chip that was in a hot dog, and that you would just eat right on down, not think anything about it. And they're in other foods, and they're in liquids. And do y'all really think that this is cool for them to put this stuff into foods and liquids and then tell us that it's health, it's good for us, and we need to have it, 8 glasses of it every day, drink your 8 glasses of fluoride? For you, for your family, do you think this is really a cool thing that we should be living? Are you aware that the United States went forward to open the borders and let immigrants in without United Nations approval, which is showing a strong one world government moving into or controlling over the other governments that can all be militarily taken by force and controlled by force by the U.S. government? Where one world government and one world taxation, that's what it's going to end up being, and taxation everywhere, as did the pharaohs. I've been giving y'all this information and telling you people that knows about this stuff, lock, stock, and barrel. And if none of you are interested enough to check him out, Sassafras, or to check out my channel, or listen to what I'm saying about this stuff, then, go and screw yourselves. To fuck away from my channel, man. My channel is not a place for ignorant and stupid people. You're not welcome here. Pharaohs and a one world court, one world government, one world army, and it will be scheduled for announcement and ratified at a meeting of a government conference in France that has already taken place. So they have already decided about the one world government. The plans have been spread around, and nobody's going to do anything, because when somebody's making a big move like that, everybody either helps him or stays out of the way, because they're all part of the same team, and the movement is always against humanity. So none of them argue that part of it. This media and law enforcement hypes up the troubles of immigration and sets the immigrants and the white Christians, predominantly the white Christians, mostly the white Christians, and it sets them against each other, while the police state moves in to protect the immigrants, creating a bigger disturbance psychologically between the citizens of this country and law and the police state, as well as the immigrants, being fashioned against the people of this country, and then the law comes in and they want to take over and boss and rule everybody. Folks, that is a whole lot of mess going on, and there ain't no need for none of it. It really ain't. Divide and conquer, that's what they do. They do it to control people or gather people together for annihilation. And for sure, one thing is for sure. The Illuminati is controlling the genetic control over the white race, which is on its way out of the human species. You get my drift? The white is being bred out, and it's just part of the agenda, just part. I want to explain that one big question about terrorist attacks is, who are the bad guys after, folks? In these so-called terrorist attacks, in America or pretty much anywhere, but especially in America, who are the bad guys? Who are the terrorists after? Because the good guys aren't going to target civilians. The civilians and the citizens are helpless against the government, as they would be pretty much helpless against a bunch of bad guys who have no reason to target the defenseless citizens. Who's the enemy that's getting killed? in all terrorist attacks, even if they're fake, false flags, and the media says, oh yeah, this amount was killed, and there was no one killed, even if there was no one killed, if the people got killed that the media says got killed, who would they be, folks? Why would a real terrorist go after the average defenseless citizens? Because it's always the citizens that ends up dead. And if a real terrorist wants to help or wants to change things, they would need to pick their target that would be a benefit to the people and for the people. The people would be subject to support terrorists like that right there. The average person living and working and moving around is themselves someone's target in some way in this country, but it's mostly the target of the Swiss Octagon and the local authorities, the police department, who want everyone to have a criminal record, and they want to have say-so over every single physical possession that you have or have access to. Terrorists who can get things into or get things to the point of breathe deep, my friend, because you're fixing to breathe in your death, or lights out and boom, and they are from the government, in that no state or government property or personnel is ever targeted, folks, to bind up the loose ends and cover up evidence and the witnesses with their lives. This is what is done to the citizens. I know they've killed some SEAL teams and sunk some subs and some ships and knocked some planes down out of the sky, froze the controls up on General Bobby Byrd of the Air Force, that the Navy had these secret jets and they let Bobby Bonds go up in one. They froze the controls and killed him to keep it quiet because they were making them for Israel. But anyway, there's a lot of things goes on in this country, folks. The USS Scorpion and the USS Thrasher, both those nuclear submarines, and all hands aboard, they weren't lost in no accidents and no runaway Russian torpedo. They're both in a water cavity, lost underneath of Hawthorne, Nevada. So the victims are usually the targeted victims who are in some way an indiscrepancy or a playful sacrifice to those who are always out to harm in any way they can and continue to play ball and entertain their masters and their own counterparts, who just pick any subdivision they want or town or country and they destroy everything. It's nothing but fun and games for them. And that's who the real terrorists are, folks. The ones who's operating these weapons, these high-tech energy weapons of mass destruction over top of the heads of the American people. The American people, you lay back and you let them do it on everybody else around the rest of the world, and now they're doing it on you, and you still ain't saying shit. This ain't hate speech. This is wake up. Those who die are enemies of the New World Order, or they are in the way of something that the state wants to accomplish. Those who know who Joseph Mengele was, he said one time, the more we do to you, the less you seem to believe we are doing anything. So the more the government does to you, the less you seem to believe that the government is doing anything. I'm going to end this with the first part. But a smart Nazi like Trump, who is smart enough to know and have a deep understanding of what stupid people want, he comes from a pharaonic bloodline, and those aristocrats, those high-class pharaohs and their descendants are running and controlling this world right now. And Trump is a Nazi Swiss Templar.